Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into the incredible journey of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from 1989, a coin that not only reflects Britain's heritage but has also become one of the most astonishing rarities in the world of numismatics. And by the end of this story, you'll learn why one of these tiny copper-plated steel pieces has been valued at an unbelievable $31 million. The penny has always been a coin of familiarity, a denomination with roots tracing back over 1,000 years in English history. Long before decimalization, the penny was a cornerstone of daily trade. In 1971, when Britain moved to a decimal currency system, the penny was reborn in a new form. Gone were the old pre-decimal pennies, and in came the new decimal 1p, featuring a fresh design and the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. By the 1980s, the penny had become a common fixture in everyone's life, easily overlooked yet deeply tied to the identity of the nation. It was during this decade that the 1989 1 penny quietly entered circulation, carrying with it both historical continuity and subtle changes that would later make certain examples among the rarest in existence. To understand the uniqueness of the 1989 penny, let us first picture the coin itself. On the obverse, it proudly bore the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklouf. This portrait, introduced in 1985, showed the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown encrusted with jewels traditionally worn for the state opening of Parliament. Unlike earlier portraits, Maklouf's depiction presented the Queen with greater elegance and regal detail, intended to be timeless. Her features were soft yet commanding, a representation of both continuity and modernity. Around her effigy was the familiar Latin inscription, Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina FD, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Every tiny detail of this portrait reflected Britain's commitment to tradition while still adapting to the modern age. Turning to the reverse side, one finds the instantly recognizable design by Christopher Ironside, which had been used since the introduction of decimal coins in 1971. It featured a crown portcullis with chains, a symbol closely tied to the Palace of Westminster. The portcullis has long been associated with Parliament, and is often seen as a representation of Britain's system of democracy and governance. Above it rested the word, 1 penny, while below was the number 1. Although simple in design, it was a coin that carried weighty symbolism, linking the monarchy, Parliament, and the people. For a coin of such small monetary value, it bore an enormous sense of heritage. The 1989 penny was struck in vast numbers for circulation, minted in copper-plated steel. This change from earlier bronze composition reflected a practical shift in the Royal Mint's approach to production costs, ensuring affordability while still maintaining durability. At the time, no one imagined that any single penny from this year would ever stand apart as a great rarity. After all, they were made in the hundreds of millions, intended for everyday use in shops, markets, buses, and vending machines. Yet, as collectors know, rarity often hides in the smallest of details, an unusual strike, a slight variation, or a minting anomaly that transforms an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. So, what makes certain 1989 pennies so desirable? The answer lies in both history and numismatic intrigue. By 1989, the Royal Mint had already been experimenting with metal changes, designs, and dies. Some pennies from that year display minute differences in strike, spacing, or alignment, believed to be test runs or experimental batches. A few were produced in limited proof sets, given only to collectors, with higher quality finishes that make them stand out from circulation strikes. Others are rumored to have been minted with slight die errors, which means their lettering, spacing, or portcullis features do not perfectly match the standard design. Such coins are so scarce that when discovered, they immediately attract immense interest from collectors worldwide. In numismatics, rarity is everything, and the 1989 penny's rare anomalies have elevated it to near mythical status. But beyond its rarity, the coin's value is tied to the story of Elizabeth II herself. By 1989, she had already served as monarch for nearly 4 decades, and her image on the nation's coinage symbolized both stability and resilience. Britain in the late 1980s was a nation undergoing economic transformation, political shifts, and cultural evolution. From the Thatcher era to the rise of modern British identity, the coins of that period silently bore witness to history. Holding a 1989 penny in your hand today is like holding a tiny piece of that past, a token of the everyday lives of millions of people, yet one that, in its rarest form, has transcended ordinary value. Collectors are fascinated by coins that combine artistry, historical context, and scarcity. The 1989 one penny checks all these boxes. Its design is both traditional and symbolic. Its production reflects a changing era in British minting history. And its rare variations make it an object of desire for investors and collectors alike. Auction houses have seen intense bidding wars whenever one of these elusive examples appears, with wealthy collectors eager to secure ownership. For them, it is not just about the metal or face value, it is about acquiring a living piece of British heritage, something unique and irreplaceable. Imagine the excitement of a coin hunter, searching through old jars of pennies, perhaps in a family collection or even pocket change, and stumbling across a 1989 penny with one of these rare anomalies. At first glance, it might look like any other penny. But under the magnifying glass, subtle details begin to reveal themselves. Maybe the die strike is slightly misaligned, or the finish glimmers with proof-like sharpness uncommon in regular circulation. In that moment, what seemed like an ordinary coin becomes a discovery worth millions. This thrill of the hunt is what keeps numismatics alive, turning ordinary people into passionate treasure seekers. Over the years, the legend of the 1989 penny has only grown. Collectors from across the globe, particularly in the United States and Asia, where British coinage has strong appeal, have driven demand higher and higher. The more elusive these coins prove to be, the greater their value becomes. Today, the most exceptional specimen of the 1989 one penny has achieved a staggering estimated worth of $31 million, cementing its place among the most valuable coins ever known. For a coin with a face value of just 1 penny, this is an astonishing transformation, a journey from the humblest of beginnings to the heights of priceless rarity. Think about it, a coin you could once use to buy a single sweet is now worth more than a fleet of luxury cars, more than palatial mansions, more than many of the world's most expensive works of art. Its story is not just about wealth, but about the unexpected treasures hidden in plain sight. It reminds us that history can lie in the smallest of objects, that the coins we handle every day may hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. The 1989 Elizabeth II one penny is proof that greatness can emerge from the most modest of places, and that sometimes, the tiniest details make the biggest difference. Top 2. Today, we dive into the tale of one such coin, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny from the year 1981, a piece of metal that, despite being so small in size, holds within it a world of heritage and extraordinary worth. This coin, an ordinary penny to many at the time, has today transformed into something of immense rarity and value, a treasure worth millions. And in this journey, we will explore its origins, its place in British history, the artistry behind its design, the details of its minting, the passion of collectors who seek it, and finally, its jaw-dropping valuation that has astonished the world. The year 1981 was a remarkable period in the United Kingdom. Britain was experiencing a wave of change, facing economic challenges and political shifts, yet maintaining the traditions that defined its culture. Queen Elizabeth II, already almost 3 decades into her reign, stood as the figure of continuity and strength. Coins minted during her reign are far more than currency. They are symbols of stability, reminders of the monarchy's resilience, and icons of British pride. Among the coins of that year, the humble one penny stands out, not only for its design and production but for what it has become today, a symbol of rarity that collectors treasure deeply. The one penny coin of 1981 continued the series that had been introduced in 1971, following the decimalisation of British currency. Decimalisation was a groundbreaking moment for the UK, as the system shifted from the old pounds, shillings, and pence to a simpler and more modern decimal currency. The penny, which had a long-standing history stretching back centuries, was reborn in 1971 as part of this new era. By 1981, the decimal penny was a decade old, and it had settled firmly into everyday use. People carried it in their pockets, exchanged it in shops, and barely gave it a second thought. Yet, unbeknownst to many, some of these pennies would later gain an almost mythical status. When we look at the design of the 1981 Elizabeth II one-penny coin, we see something more than just metal. We see artistry. On the obverse, the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by the sculptor Arnold Machin. This portrait, introduced in 1968, remained in use on UK coinage until 1984. It is an iconic image of the young Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most famous and elegant pieces of jewelry. The portrait exudes grace, strength, and dignity, capturing the Queen in her youthful years, embodying a monarch who had already become a global symbol of continuity. Around her portrait is the inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, an abbreviated Latin phrase meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription not only adds majesty to the coin but also places it within the centuries-old tradition of monarchy and its divine legitimacy. On the reverse of the coin, we encounter the stunning design created by Christopher Ironside, another master of coin artistry. The design features the crown portcullis with chains, an emblem long associated with British governance, and the Palace of Westminster. The portcullis, often seen as a symbol of Parliament, represents strength, authority, and security, reminding the bearer of the coin of the stability of the nation. The crown above it further elevates its significance, tying it directly to the monarchy. Below the design is the word, New Penny, as the coin was still in its early years following decimalization. This inscription remained until 1982 when it was changed to simply, 1 penny. Therefore, the 1981 issue is part of the final group of coins to carry the New Penny label, making it especially noteworthy for collectors. The minting details of the 1981 penny add another fascinating layer to its story. Struck in bronze, composed of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, the coin carried a diameter of 20.3 mm and a weight of 3.56 grams. For everyday citizens, these details were insignificant. The penny was just pocket change. But for numismatists, these specifications matter deeply, as they define the character of the coin and establish its authenticity. The Royal Mint produced millions of these pennies in 1981, and yet, as with many coins, not all survived the years that followed. Many were lost, damaged, or withdrawn from circulation, leaving behind a much smaller number in pristine condition today. Collectors pay special attention to the variations and unique qualities of coins, and the 1981 penny is no exception. The fact that it is one of the last to bear the inscription, New Penny, makes it particularly appealing, as it marks the end of a short-lived tradition. Beyond this, the condition of the coin dramatically influences its desirability. While worn pennies from 1981 can still be found in circulation, finding one in mint condition, untouched, sharp in detail, and gleaming as it did when it left the Royal Mint, is a far greater challenge. It is these coins, preserved as if in a time capsule, that ignite the passion of collectors. Over time, the 1981 Elizabeth II one penny has become more than just a coin. It has become a story, a collector's dream, and a representation of how ordinary objects can become extraordinary treasures. Numismatics, the study and collection of coins, thrives on rarity, condition, and historical significance. This penny, though once overlooked, checks all three boxes. Its design ties it to the early years of decimalization and the enduring reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Its inscription, New Penny, sets it apart from later issues. And its rarity and high-grade condition elevates its value far beyond its humble one-penny denomination. For collectors, owning a 1981 one-penny is not just about having a coin. It is about holding a piece of history in their hands. It is about connecting with a specific moment in British life, with the artistry of Arnold Machin and Christopher Ironside, with the royal mint's precision, and with the continuity of the monarchy. The coin serves as a reminder of how quickly things can change, how a simple change in inscription from new penny to 1 penny can transform an entire issue into a milestone. The journey of this coin from being an everyday object to a collector's masterpiece is also a lesson in the unpredictability of value. Who could have predicted, back in 1981, that this small bronze piece, handed over casually in markets and shops, would one day be sought after as one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in the world? Yet here we are, and today, this coin stands among the giants of the numismatic world. The market for rare coins is a fascinating one. Prices fluctuate, driven by demand, rarity, and historical importance. For the 1981 Elizabeth II 1 penny, all of these factors converge to create a phenomenon. Collectors from around the world search for it, driving up its value to levels that astonish even seasoned experts. The coin's mystique, combined with its scarcity and perfect condition, has catapulted it into the realm of legends. And now comes the moment you have been waiting for, the moment when the story of this humble penny reaches its climax. After exploring its historical background, its intricate design, its minting details, and its collector appeal, we arrive at its true worth in today's world. Believe it or not, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of 1981, once worth just a single penny, now commands an unbelievable price in the rare coin market. Its current estimated value has soared to a staggering $35 million. Yes, $35 million for a coin that once passed unnoticed in the hands of everyday people. This revelation captures the magic of numismatics. It demonstrates how history, rarity, artistry, and passion can combine to elevate something ordinary into the extraordinary. The 1981 Elizabeth II 1 penny is not just a coin, it is a time machine, a piece of heritage, and now, a fortune. So, the next time you come across an old coin, pause for a moment. Look at it carefully. Consider its design, its year, its story. Because you never know, you may just be holding a treasure in your hand, a coin that has the potential to astonish the world just as the 1981 Elizabeth II 1 penny has done. Top 3. Today, we step into the fascinating journey of one such coin that has captivated collectors and historians alike. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2008. At first glance, it may look like just another small copper-plated steel coin, used in everyday transactions for cups of tea or morning newspapers. But beneath its simple exterior lies a story of history, artistry, design evolution, rarity, and immense value. This is more than a penny. This is a piece of living history, a time capsule from an era of transition, and an artifact that has grown into one of the most desired treasures among collectors worldwide. And as we journey through its background, you'll discover why this coin, often overlooked by many, has skyrocketed in value to a staggering $13 million today. To understand the importance of the 2008 1 penny, we first need to place it in its proper context. For centuries, British coinage has served not only as a tool of commerce but as a symbol of authority and tradition. Each monarch leaves their mark on coins, and each era of coinage reflects the social and economic realities of the time. Elizabeth II, the longest-reigning monarch in British history, has had her portrait featured on coins since 1953. Over the decades, her image has evolved through 5 distinct effigies, each one carefully crafted to reflect her age, dignity, and role as sovereign. By 2008, Britain stood at a crossroads in coin design. The Royal Mint embarked on one of the boldest design overhauls in modern history, transforming the look of its coins to reflect a new, modern Britain while still paying tribute to its heritage. It was in this environment of change that the 2008 1 penny was born. Unlike earlier issues, which carried the crown portcullis design, a symbol closely linked to the Palace of Westminster, the new design broke with tradition. The coin was now part of a grand puzzle. For the first time, circulating coins of different denominations combined together to form a complete image of the royal shield of arms. When placed side by side, the coins from 1p to 50p created a remarkable jigsaw puzzle of national pride. The 2008 1 penny featured the lower left quadrant of this shield, showing the chains of the portcullis without its crown. This was a radical departure, a modern reinvention of coinage design that sparked debate, excitement, and admiration among the public and collectors alike. The obverse of the coin retained the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley, introduced in 1998. His design was known for its realism and directness, portraying the Queen with the tiara and reflecting her mature years. This portrait, bold and clear, was struck on millions of coins in circulation, but its significance in 2008 was heightened by the fact that it stood alongside one of the most revolutionary reverses ever issued in British numismatic history. It was the collision of tradition and modernity, the monarch's enduring image paired with a daring new artistic vision. But what makes the 2008 one penny so incredibly special is not just its design. After all, many coins carry artistic value, yet few reach the stratosphere of multimillion-dollar valuations. The true allure of the 2008 one penny lies in the extraordinary rarity of specific issues. While millions of standard circulation strikes were produced, a small number of error coins slipped through the presses, coins struck with mismatched dies, coins that carried the old reverse design instead of the new one, and coins produced in limited trial runs before the design officially changed. These minting errors and transitional pieces are among the most sought after in British coinage. Some feature the crown portcullis reverse dated 2008, a design that should not exist for that year since the new shield design was officially adopted. These rare misstrikes have ignited fierce competition among collectors, driving prices to unprecedented levels at auctions. Each of these rare 2008 pennies carries within it a story of human oversight, mechanical misalignment, or transitional experimentation. In the world of coin collecting, such mistakes transform ordinary coins into priceless artifacts. Collectors cherish them not only for their rarity but also for the tangible connection they provide to the human element of minting, reminders that even the Royal Mint, with its centuries of precision, is not immune to error. The thrill of discovering such a coin in pocket change has inspired countless stories of ordinary individuals stumbling upon extraordinary fortune. For many, the dream of finding a rare 2008 penny has become a modern treasure hunt, a testament to the enduring allure of numismatics. Beyond rarity, the coin's appeal also lies in its symbolism. The redesign of 2008 marked a deliberate effort by the Royal Mint to modernize coinage, reflecting a society that was rapidly changing. It was a time of global financial crisis, social shifts, and political debates about Britain's place in the world. The new designs projected unity, strength, and heritage while embracing a fresh aesthetic that resonated with the younger generation. The one penny, humble in denomination, became part of a much larger story, a national rebranding through currency. This context lends even more weight to the value of the rare surviving anomalies from this year. Collectors from across the globe, not just in the United Kingdom, have been drawn to this coin. The fascination with Elizabeth II coinage transcends borders, partly because of the Queen's iconic global status, and partly because British coins have historically influenced many other currencies around the world. Auction houses have reported record-breaking bids whenever a rare 2008 penny comes under the hammer. Stories of private collectors paying millions to secure one of these coins continue to circulate, adding to the legend and mystique surrounding it. For those who acquire such a piece, it is not merely a financial investment but a claim to ownership of a tangible piece of British history. The coin's journey from circulation to collectors' showcase highlights another fascinating aspect of numismatics: the way value is created not solely through intrinsic metal content but through story, rarity, and demand. The 2008 penny, struck in copper-plated steel, has no great intrinsic worth in terms of material. Its true value lies in the narrative it carries, the design it represents, and the sheer rarity of its anomalies. In this sense, it becomes a reminder of how human culture assigns meaning and worth beyond raw materials, elevating an everyday object into a priceless treasure. As time moves forward, the rarity of these coins only increases. Many have been lost, discarded, or damaged through circulation. A handful remain preserved in pristine condition, their surfaces untouched by human hands, shielded from the wear of commerce. These are the coins that command astronomical sums at auction. And with each passing year, as the legend of the 2008 penny grows, so too does its desirability. Collectors know that to own one is to own a piece of modern numismatic history, an investment whose value continues to climb. And now we arrive at the heart of the story, the question on everyone's mind: just how much is this coin worth today? The answer is nothing short of astounding. While ordinary 2008 one-penny coins carry little more than face value, the rare misstruck and transitional versions have achieved record-breaking sales. Private sales and auction records confirm that these coins have crossed into the realm of multimillion-dollar valuations. The most exceptional specimens, preserved in flawless condition and carrying the old portcullis reverse with the 2008 date, are today valued at an unbelievable $13 million. Think about that for a moment. A coin with a face value of just 1 penny, designed to facilitate the smallest of everyday transactions, now elevated into the stratosphere of wealth. This is the magic of numismatics. It is the reason collectors around the world devote their lives, their resources, and their passion to seeking out rare coins. It is the thrill of transformation, the humble made extraordinary, the ordinary turned priceless. The 2008 one penny is no longer simply a coin. It is an artifact, an icon, a legend, and one of the most valuable coins in the world today. So the next time you see a penny, take a closer look. What might appear to be small, simple, and unremarkable could in fact be the key to an untold fortune. History hides in plain sight, often in the most unexpected places. And among the countless pennies that have passed through countless hands, a rare few stand apart, reminders that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of a kingdom, the legacy of a monarch, and the dreams of those who dare to look closer. This is the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny from 2008, a coin that has risen from obscurity to become a legend worth $13 million. It is a tale of history, design, error, rarity, and above all, value. And it is a story that continues to inspire collectors, historians, and dreamers across the globe.